come to Nehru, I would say, if you were to put, and I say this in the book, if you were to put Nehru and Hedgewar in the same room, which they never did, they never came together to have a conversation. In fact, Hedgewar met Motilal Nehru, his father,
yeah.
but never Jawaharlal Nehru. Both were contemporaries. Both were the same age. Both, if they sat together, I believe, would have agreed on 80% of things. Their worldview was very similar. Looking back. So they would both have agreed that Indian civilization was amazing. It was at its height around the 4th, 6th century AD. They both would have agreed that it peaked and then it began to decline during the Mughal period. Then they would have agreed that by the time the British came, Indian society then collapsed. And they both would have agreed that actually Indian society in their timeline was at its lowest, poorest, most decrepit sense. They would have agreed on the social and economic backwardness of Hindu society. They both would have agreed on all these things.
If you liked the episode, please leave your key takeaways in the comments. It helps us decide future episodes. And of course, make sure you follow Dostcast on Spotify. Dostcast to the moon.
Where they differentiate is that, and this is to do with the fact that they were both human beings that were the consequences of their exposure.
Sure.
So Nehru is elite, comes from an elite background. Everybody knows this. Educated in the UK, comes to India. So he has this internationalist mindset. And he sees that even though Hedgewar and him would have agreed on all these points, for Nehru, essentially socialism, materialism, individualism was the way forward. A centralized economy, much like Boz, that this is the way to rule India. And again, the same thinking. Rajya. Capture the Rajya, will sort out the Rashtra.
Yeah, they were focusing on statehood.
Yeah. Hedgewar goes beyond that. And he says, no, the Rajya is imaginary. The Rashtra is real. So you got to control and develop. And the problem is not the Rajya. It's not the British or it's not the Mughals. These are all symptoms of the weakened Rashtra. And so he focuses on the Rashtra. So again, Nehru and him, although only 20% different, go 100 years in the future and you can see the difference, right? Yeah. So that's Nehru.
If you love this episode, make sure you leave a note at the end so we know what more to make of. And of course, follow Dostcast on Spotify, Dostcast to the moon.